decent crowds this time around?
I mean, pretty much, you know, because of the economy and things like that, you know, people are saving their money. They're picking and choosing the shows they want to go to. I mean, on average, we've been doing about 350, 360 a night, which is, you know, I mean, it's okay, but a few years ago, it probably would have been double that, you know, easily. So the economy's definitely affected people, you know, because, yeah, again, it's just, they just don't have the money to go to all the shows, so they have to decide, all right, well, you know, I saw Suffocation come through, you know, 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever, you know, okay, you know, maybe I'm going to pass on that and I'm going to wait on something else, you know. So, I mean, it's been okay. You know, the people that do come to the shows, the fans, you know, they've been totally into the show and having a good time and everything. But you know, you definitely see it. You see the difference.
Do you have a good following still in Long Island, New York area, New Jersey? Do you have a local following that's pretty solid fan base out there?
Yeah. I mean, you know, anytime we pretty much play on the island or in New York City and stuff like that, it's you know, it's a nice turnout. You know, anywhere from 600 to 1,000. You know, pretty much all the time. Only because, you know, yeah, I mean, you know, we have such roots there, and you know, the fan base is just, you know, is just incredible. So, so generally, you know, do very well there. There's certain states too that, you know, we seem to do pretty well in, you know, on a regular basis, like California, Texas, you know, things like that. So, you know, and then when we go up to Canada, you know, Canada is usually always a pretty good draw too, like Montreal and Toronto area.
It's been a while, of course, since you reformed the band, kind of. There was that drop off for about 5 years or so. It was about 98 or so. And what was the main, or what were your reasons for wanting to get back into the gig, getting back into Suffocation, get back on the, you know, touring and making albums? What was your main?
You know, like when I left it and stuff, it was basically I left it because of, you know, family, you know, issues, family problems, you know, things like that. So also, I mean, the scene itself was kind of declining in the late 90s. You know, again, people just weren't coming to the shows. You know, we saw a drop off again at that point. And just because I had family stuff to, you know, take care of, that's pretty much why it ended at the time. And then there was always a feeling that, like, I never gave it the just, you know, like I never really got a chance to give it what it deserved. You know, I felt like there was always something more that it could have been done with the band. You know, we didn't get a chance to tour a lot in our early days because, you know, I was working full time and everything and all that. So I felt like, you know, and then once I went through some problems and everything, and then once, you know, I went through the divorce and all that stuff or whatever, then to me it was like an opportunity to say, hey, you know, like let's give this one shot and see where it can go, see if we can really do something with it and give it what it deserved to have, you know, from the time that we really couldn't do anything. Like, we couldn't do all the solid touring. Like, these last 7 years, we've been out on the road a lot more than we've ever been out on the road. And so, you know, so I got in touch with everyone, contacted the guys, and, you know, saw if it was something that could be possible. And, you know, majority of them were on board with it. And then, you know, so we said, yeah, you know, let's give it a shot and let's go from there.
I think this has been maybe a frustrating issue for you, but the DVD Legacy of Violence?
Yeah.
You probably, of course, get asked this a lot. I thought October maybe was the last so-called possible release month. Anything new on that front?
You know, it's been such a, you know, we've had a black cloud that follows this band since day one, whether it be something where, you know, you get ripped off somewhere, or, you know, something breaks down, or, you know, every time we go to leave on tour, it could be, you know, amazing weather all the way up until the week before we, you know, the week, 2 weeks before we got to leave. The night we're leaving for tour, it's raining, it's pouring, you know, you got to load equipment in. So, I mean, there's always been something. And again, with the DVD, there's, you know, there's been complications. The hard drive crashed. So then now you got to, like, restart, you know, in a way, you know, from the beginning. And it's getting very close at this point. So I'm hoping within the next, you know, like 2-3 months, we were hoping to have it done by this tour, and now we're doing everything we possibly can to just push it and get it out before the end of the year, or like right at the beginning of next year. So that's where it's looking, and I apologize because we've been talking about it for a long time, and it's gonna have a really ton of like really cool stuff, a lot of like just behind the scenes, getting to know everybody in the band and what they like to do, and the things they do when they're not doing the band, and then live footage and old stuff, and so it's gonna be. He's trying to portray it almost like in a in a different format than other DVDs have been done before. So it's a lot of work, and we want it to just be the best product. So those people that are like hey, yeah, that are fans and that want it, we're hoping that they say wow, like they did such an amazing job with this thing.
So let's shoot for Christmas, maybe good Christmas.
Yeah,
Christmas
that's
present, right?
Yes, yeah, that's what we're hoping on. That's what we're really trying to push.
So if you consider all things together, downloads, the decline of CD sales, but then with technology, the good things that come out of it, like I mentioned, as a whole, better or worse right now than we were in the 80s and 90s,
yeah,
early 90s?
I think in a whole, it's definitely better, like way better, 10 times better, because when we first started in the late 80s, early 90s, there was nothing. It was basically fanzines, word of mouth, and that was it. That's the only kind of like reviews that death metal, and extreme music got. If you were a hair metal band or anything like that, well, you were all over on MTV, you were on, in everyone's face. But for the underground music, nobody knew at all. You really had to go search, and you really had to go look. Nowadays, though, for all the bands out there, yeah, things like like YouTube, man, you can pull up any band you want, you can check them out, see what they look like, live, and like beforehand, there was tons of bands and I never even knew what they looked like. I heard them, but they had no clue of what they look like on stage or how they perform. And then definitely helping out new bands, and even nowadays too, like the MySpace thing is like great basically for setting up, like instead of going to a website and working out your own website and paying for the website, you basically do it on MySpace, and there's a lot more features on MySpace that you get basically for a free, in a way, so it's which is awesome. There's just so many things that you can do on a positive note. The negative, obviously, is the illegal downloads and stuff like that, which really, it really hurts the bands, especially bands in this type of music, because we're not making tons of money. So if you really want to see the bands that you like and you want to continue to see them, support them by not downloading their music, by basically going out, and even if you don't want to buy the whole entire album, because now you have things like iTunes and stuff like that, where hey, okay, I only like 3 songs on this album, so you know what? I'll pay $3, $4, whatever it is, and I'll have those songs. And this way, at least I'm giving something back to the band. Right. Because right now, by you just taking the music, we put a lot of hard work, and so do all the other bands. You put a lot of hard work and effort into recording. You pay for the recording. It's not like recording is just free, and it's just like, here it is, yeah, go ahead, So, we put a lot of time, money, and effort into, putting out a product, and if you truly are a fan and you enjoy the product, support it. A CD's like, $10. It's like a fast food meal, basically, with a supersize, and that is, that's it. You buy that every day or whatever, you're supporting McDonald's, whatever, you're supporting a company, by going in, buying their food and this, that, and the other thing. So if you enjoy the band, at least buy the albums, support the albums. I like it. It's pretty cool because, it's basically a cartoon based on extreme, death metal, all just real heavy stuff, and it's funny, in a way too, the things that they do and stuff in there. But I actually saw a clip where they actually threw us in there. I think they went to a hotel, and it was Suffocation Inn or something like that. Yeah, yeah. It was, had the sign, lit up on the side of the hotel, and then all the wallpapering like in the hotel or whatever had like Suffocation.
Was that a surprise to you? Did you know it was going to be in there?
No, I didn't know it was going to be in there. Actually, Derek, saw it, and he said, yeah, like, a lot of the guys that put that cartoon together, they're fans of, a lot of different music, so they try to take, bands that they like, and they try to incorporate it in some way or form, so that the kids, kids watching or whatever, see, yeah, they're like, oh wow, all right, cool. So I mean, yeah, it's a really cool idea. It's a great cartoon, and I'm glad to see that they were able to do something like that. Like the one episode where they had to go down and they wanted to get the most brutal record, so they had to go all the way down to the depths
underwater?
of the sea. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
They had a song about fish in the sea.
Yeah. Mermaid. So like, just stuff like that.
The ideas they come up with, right?
It's just awesome. Well, yeah, what's going to happen is this is the last tour, basically, that's, scheduled, or any type of, dates that are scheduled is now. And then, so what we're going to do is pretty much after this is go home. It'll be a matter of, the writing process, putting music together. And then we're not sure exactly how we're going to go about, putting it out there. We don't know if it's going to be like, okay, write everything for another full-length album and put it out, or piece together groupings of songs and release them, for like individual sale, things like that or whatever. So, everything's like up in the air pretty much as far as like exactly how we're going to approach this next writing cycle. Nothing's, you just never know what's going to happen, with the future of this business, and also, just the future of Suffocation. I mean, Suffocation will definitely always be around in some way, shape, or form. Whether or not we're touring all the time, that may not happen. We may be out for like, we may come out for just, a one tour a year or something like that, or we may come out and just play, spot shows here and there, or a festival, so it's just, we're not sure exactly, like guys are getting older, guys have families, things change. So, it's, but nothing's concrete right now. Nothing's like, but I mean, it's been a long road, so, there's just, sometimes things will change, and we're just not exactly sure of exactly what's going to happen in this next, cycle of, album recording, touring, all that stuff, All
right. Thanks a lot for taking time out.
You're welcome.
And have a good rest of the tour.
Thank you.
Hope things go well for you.
Thank you.
Thanks.